brought to you by Bangkok Bank, Ratchamongkol University of Technology, Thanyaburi.
Good morning, ASEAN. Freshen up your world, your thought, and your idea with us every weekday from 7:30 to 8 a.m. I'm Patsurang Desha Putharangsi.
And I'm Rina Jombursi. It's Thursday, the 22nd of August. Let's start first with Thailand on the Thai economy. Patsurang, as Thailand yesterday left its benchmark interest rate at 2.5% amid concerns over the sluggish economic growth. The move, which follows a trim to interest rates in May, comes after official figures showed persistent weakness in the kingdom's economy in the first 2 quarters of the year. Continuing with monetary policy easing will support economic growth, said Pawoot, Secretary of the Thai Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee, or the MPC. Thailand has suffered 2 consecutive quarterly economic contractions this year, with figures Monday showing the economy shrank 0.3% in the 3 months to June compared to the previous quarter. This followed the revised 1.7% contraction in the 3 months to March. Manufacturing output eased 1% on a year-on-year basis, with manufacturers hit by slowing domestic demand and ongoing global weakness, the National Economic and Social Development Board said in a statement, as the U.S. and China struggle to get up to speed. The central bank forecasts gradual recovery in the U.S., China, and the EU, adding that there was little risk of inflation on the horizon. Analysts at Kasikorn Bank said the move was expected as policymakers seek to keep the pressure off both private sector and household borrowers. We expect the MPC to maintain the current rate of 2.5% until the end of this year. Nalin Chatchotitam, the market and economic research specialist at Kasikorn Bank, told AFP.
Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi met with Prime Minister Hun Sen of Cambodia and Hornam Hong, the Foreign Minister of the country, in Phnom Penh, the capital city, yesterday evening. Wang, who actually arrived in Cambodia on Tuesday, met Hun Sen at his office in the Peace Building and then met with Hornam Hong at the Intercontinental Hotel. The visit coincides with the celebration this year of the 55th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relation between the two nations. Many see this visit as a show of support for long-serving Hun Sen's government amid the opposition party's call to the international community not to recognize the ruling party's recent win at the general election. Hornam Hong said that on behalf of the royal government of Cambodia, he thanks the government of China for supporting the election result of Cambodia on 28th July. Wang added that recently Cambodia conducted the 5th mandate of parliamentary election and the ruling Cambodia People's Party had won more of the National Assembly seats. The leaders of China had immediately written a congratulatory letter to the ruling party CPP leadership. And yesterday, he actually had the chance to deliver his congratulations directly to Prime Minister Hun Sen. He also called for any external interference to Cambodia to stop. And he concluded, Mr. Wang said that China is firm in its continued support for Cambodia and to stop any external interference and for it to develop in its own way for the benefit of the people. Wang Yi will leave Cambodia later today.
U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel will depart today on a tour of the Southeast Asia to bolster U.S. military ties with the regional partners who face increasing concerns over maritime disputes in China. Hagel announced on Tuesday he will fly to Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, and the Philippines in a week-long visit with a meeting of ASEAN defense ministers on August 28th to the 29th. Rival territorial claims in the South China Sea are expected to feature high on the agenda of the ASEAN discussions in Brunei next Wednesday and Thursday, officials said. Countries in the 10-member Association of Southeast Asian Nations have vowed to present a united stance to convince China to approve a binding code of conduct for handling disagreements in the strategic South China Sea. In Brunei, Hagel also plans to hold talks with China's Defense Minister General Chang Wan-Kwan, who will be attending the ASEAN session. Their meeting will come a week after Cheng paid a visit to Washington and touted progress in U.S.-Chinese military relations. But the Chinese general made clear that Beijing would staunchly defend its core interests and maritime rights.
Let's look at the update on Indonesia as the President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono will announce a new policy package to mitigate the weakening rupiah and the Indonesian Composite Index. Well, President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono has said that given current economic conditions, the government would prepare an economic package to safeguard the national economy. An improvement in export performance is crucial to halting the widening trade deficit and will eventually lead to a better exchange rate. The policy package will include measures to improve export performance, and he also said that after the meeting, we will be formulating an economic package in the next few days and is aimed at safeguarding our financial stability. The president said that the government would protect the country's growth so that it would not decline so sharply. And the package also aims to prevent inflation. So during the press conference in Jakarta, Yudhoyono stressed the importance of maintaining economic growth and investments and preventing private companies from dismissing their workers.
Let's now go to a special report on the new trend of online business.
Within the next 2 years, Thailand and other ASEAN members will integrate and join the ASEAN Economic Community (AEC). Traditional marketing such as video spots, radio announcement, newspaper advertisement, banner, and leaflet may face difficulty in terms of competing with the other regional companies in the digital era. In order to achieve the goal of the ASEAN Economic Community, many large companies try to expand themselves and invest more on marketing and promoting. However, such a big investment might be really hard for the small and medium enterprises.
Because when we expanding with a physical way, that means you have a lot of investment. But if you do it online way, that means in terms of the cost and everything with more efficiency, that we have to think about how we can, spend less money, but in terms of efficiency, it's more than more than normal. That's very important for for the business right now.
Based on the experiences of THAILAND.com, most of the companies and entrepreneurs tend to go online. This is because 90% of their new customers have changed their consumer behavior for the better interaction and to obtain the fast information. Moreover, it also becomes a good channel to expand their business.
Of the online marketing and including e-commerce, I think it's growing very fast. And it's a trend of the people, the business moving to online. It's a lot, but still small number comparing to the total in terms of the business in Thailand. That means a huge opportunity for for the entrepreneur or the company that they want to move to online.
In Thailand, the number of internet users have increased dramatically, and it become an effective marketing tool for businessmen to understand about the change and the needs of the consumers.
To listen and understand the way people think, because nowadays people tend to change their mind pretty often, and the trend change pretty quickly. So if we monitor that kind of thinking or conversation all the time, we'll be able to understand what's going on at the moment. And then being a strategist or the marketers, we really need to have a regular review and change our plan according to the change on the consumer side pretty quickly.
With tablet and smartphone in hand, people nowadays can easily access to the internet and get the information of the products and companies. In terms of convenience too, customer can decide to buy the products anytime and anywhere. Therefore, the trend of the online business may be a crucial idea in the new marketing era. Report by Bunlong Cheng.
What an impressive report by our Cambodian journalist,
Yes.
Kumbina. Thank you, Mr. Bunlong Cheng. Anyway, coming up next, the worst and the deadliest road accident in Malaysia's history after the break.
Brought to you by Bangkok Bank. ราชมงคล University of Technology ธัญบุรี
Let's now take a look at what's going on now in Syria. Kun Pasurang, as the Syrian main opposition group accused the government of massacring more than 1,300 people in chemical weapon attacks near Damascus on Wednesday, saying many of the victims choked to death. The accusation came as a team of UN inspectors was in Syria to probe previous allegations of chemical weapons strikes leveled against both sides during the 29-month conflict. Western governments demanded immediate access for the inspectors to investigate the new allegations. Russia, a long-standing ally of the Damascus regime, echoed the call for an inquiry, but said it suspected a provocation by the opposition and its foreign backers. Videos distributed by activists, the authenticity of which could not be immediately verified, showed medics attending to suffocating children and hospitals being overwhelmed. More footage showed dozens of people laid out on the ground, among them many children, some of them covered in white sheets. The claim of chemical weapons use, which could not be independently confirmed, was vehemently denied by the Syrian regime, which said it was intended to hinder the work of the UN weapons inspectors already in the country. Syrian Information Minister Amran Zoibi called the allegations of chemical attacks illogical and accused opposition forces of fabricating lies against President Bashar al-Assad's government.
Well, at least 37 people dead in a bus road accident.
Yes.
Actually, the bus descending from Malaysian hilltop gambling resort of GENTING, HIGHLANDS, plunged into a ravine yesterday evening. Local media reports said 37 passengers were reported dead, included Thai citizens, Kumina, while 16 were injured as of 8:14 p.m. local time. 5 were reported to be in critical condition. The shuttle bus ferrying over 50 passengers was on its way to the capital city, Kuala Lumpur, when it skidded off the winding road to fall 200 feet into a ravine. Federal Territory Fire Rescue Assistant Director Azizan Ismaili also said that he and his team pulled out the first victim at 3:28 p.m. because the crash site is at least 200 feet below. And the bus was actually sandwiched between trees, and they had stabilized it in a case it would plunge further. So the recovery operation is still going on, but the head of rescue team did not expect any survivors. Local media said the passengers might include local and foreign tourists. Some of them might be Thai citizens and also Chinese, Bangladeshi, and of course Malaysian. It is believed to be the worst road accident in the country's history. A slew of accidents had occurred in a notorious winding road lead to the hilltop resort. Last year, 2 Indian passengers on board an express bus were killed in a road accident.
We'll now take a look at Myanmar Focus Daily on the direction of Myanmar's real estate prices.
Real estate prices in Myanmar have been on the rise since the open up of the country. The average rate for office space is around $80 to $100 per square meter, and average room rate is around $50 to $100 for 2 to 4 star hotels. Real estate analysts say that the trend is likely to continue for at least 5 years. Moreover, we also see the rising real estate prices in other areas of Myanmar apart from Yangon. Myanmar Focus Daily this episode, we will take a look into details on this story. Colliers International Myanmar predicts that the price for office space can go beyond $150 per square meter in prime location in Yangon. It will take around 5 years before starting to see the price to stabilize.
It will continue to go up. We're given a sort of a 5-year window before we see a major correction in prices at this point. I think it will take 5 years at least before we see the sort of amount of supply that we would see in any other market, where you see 5 or 6 large buildings come up, and that will start to create a different dynamic. But at the moment, it's in one direction, which is lack of supply increase in demand, and I think that will reflect itself in the prices for quite some time. So that's why we tell developers, get something up and running now, and you can make a lot of money in a few years, and then it will start to moderate.
Prices of real estate seem to be on an upward trend, especially in the hotel sector in other areas in Myanmar, such as Bagan or Mandalay. These two destinations are becoming popular tourist destinations. However, for outside these major cities, the changing in real estate price may take time due to limited infrastructure. An analyst noted that the increase in the prices of lands in other areas of the country may be based on the infrastructure development projects.
Certainly, Mandalay has seen price inflation, and so have many of the provincial centres. But when people are talking, and I think we need to be clear what we're talking about here when we talk about price inflation and these really high prices. Usually, there are two things. One is the property rental price that you pay in offices and hotels, and that's really a Yangon phenomenon. You see a little bit pricey in Mandalay for hotels, but different scale. But land, yes, land is where we've seen significant price increases in different parts of the country, and this is partly because it's coming from a very low base.
One of the key factors that could make the price of real estate go down is adding more supply into the market. Yet, when we look at the new supply in the market for this year, it is unlikely that the price will be coming down anytime soon. For office space, around 54,000 square meters are to be added by 2015. Some of major constructions in this sector are Trader Square, KBZ Tower, Junction Square, and Sholtong International Commercial Center. For hotel, around 2,500 rooms are under construction in Yangon, with the key projects such as FMI Peninsula, Novotel Yangon, and HAGL project. For service apartments, 500 new supply are expected by 2015 in buildings such as Shangri-La Residences and Star City, THAILAND.
This year, probably not that many, one or two, but there's a lot of construction going on, significant construction. In the office market, there's probably 5 to 7 buildings on the way up. None of them are massive. The biggest is probably 30,000 square meters, which will be very big for Yangon, but it's, compared to what we see in Bangkok, it's not massive. We see buildings of over 100,000 square meters here. So there's 5 to 7 office buildings going up to be completed by 2015, and that will increase supply from what it is now, which is around 54,000 square meters to about 150,000. So in proportional terms, that's huge. That's more than double. But 150,000 is not a significant office market. Bangkok office market is 8 million, just to put it in perspective. So even by doubling or tripling supply in Yangon, we're not going to see a massive office market. At the moment, there's about 2,500 rooms under construction, and that will double supply again in the market, or more than double supply. But just in Bangkok, at the moment, there are 7,500 rooms under construction on top of the massive supply you already have. So it's growing fast, but it's not massive.
The problem of high real estate prices is one of the main concerns that could slow down foreign investment to the country. In the next episode, Myanmar Focus will take a look at the concerns of foreign investors and suggestions from experts. Pongvitayapanu Mi Sang for Myanmar Focus Daily.
That's it for today's edition of Good Morning ASEAN. We'll see you again, same time, same place, same channel.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Mina Tungprasit.
Anapat Surang Desha Putrang Si. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ